So, good evening to everybody. We are in Practical Inspiration Show, and tonight with me, a very special guest, Gary Daaglאס, the founder of Access Consciousness in the world. I'm very honored and privileged to have you here on the call, Gary. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
I'm going to speak a few words in Hebrew to introduce you to the Israeli audience in our language, in Hebrew, and then we'll start the interview in English, of course. So bear with me a few minutes, okay?
No worries.
Okay. So, אז ברוכים הבאים וערב טוב לכל מי שנמצא איתנו כאן בשידור חי, בתוכנית השראה מעשית. זו תוכנית שאני יצרתי, שמי אורלי בר-קימה, ואני עיתונאית, מאמנת, מרצה ומנחה של סדנאות העצמה והתפתחות אישית. יצרתי את התוכנית הזאת מתוך חזון להביא מורים, מנטורים, אנשים מעוררי השראה ומנהיגי שינוי ברחבי העולם, להביא פה את המסרים שלהם אלינו, לארץ ישראל, לארץ הקודש, לאזור שלנו, כדי להביא קצת יותר שלום ושלווה ואהבה ופתיחות דעת ושמחה, כאן לישראל, כדי שלנו, מגיע לנו חיים יותר טובים. אז למה לא ללמוד מהטובים ביותר? אני רוצה להציג בכמה דקות את גארי דאגלאס. גארי דאגלאס לפני 20 שנה פיתח שיטה מופלאה שיצא לי לחוות אותה בעצמי בשם אקסס קונשסנס, ומי שהביאה את השיטה לארץ לפני כ3 שנים, ראיון שפי, הציגה בפניי ואפילו נתנה לי לחוות את הברס, למדתי קורס של ברס והוא עניין אותי וסקרן אותי מאוד, עד כדי כך שרציתי לפגוש את האנשים שבעצם יצרו את השיטה הזאת. אז אנחנו מראיינים הערב את גארי, שהשיטה הזאת קיימת היום במעל 177 מדינות בעולם, שזה מדהים כשלעצמו, והיא עושה נפלאות. גארי מספר שהוא מילדות כבר נמשך לכל הנושא של הבנת החשיבה האנושית והמסתורין, ואחרי שנים שעסק בנדל"ן ובכל מיני תחומים אחרים בעצם החליט לעשות שינוי בחיים שלו. הוא כתב כמה עשרות ספרים, שאלתי אותו בעצמו לא זוכר, תכף תשמעו, והוא אומר שאין צורך לחיות חיי סבל בעולם שלנו, בלי דרמות ובלי טראומות, כל אחד מאיתנו יכול לפתח גישה לתודעה, תודעה עליונה, ולזמן לחיים שלו את כל הדברים שהוא רוצה, ולהתחיל ליצור את המציאות. הסיסמה של Access Consciousness, או המנטרה שלהם, זה All in life comes to me with joy. Gary, can you say the mantra?
All of life comes to me with ease and joy. And joy and glory.
And glory, yeah. So this is the great mantra, and we will start our conversation with this mantra. And I would like to ask you to tell us a little bit about your story, what shaped you, and how did you come 20 years ago to developing this incredible method, Access Consciousness, which we are talking about tonight.
Well, it's like my story is that I spent my entire life looking for what was true. And when I was a little kid, I was 10 years old, and I decided to go to church because I was looking for the truth. And so I did everything I could to create that place of truth and possibility. And what occurred was that I took my little sister's hand, we went to church, I watched people, being nice to each other in church on Sunday and then screwing each other on Monday. And I went, wait a minute, this is not what, you're saying one thing, you're doing another. How is that true? And I had this sense of moral indignation. So I quit church. And then I went to from Methodist churches to Baptist churches to synagogues I went to everything looking for that which was true. And in each I found a piece of truth, but I never found what I could say was the total truth. And I tried everything. I did spiritualism, I did metaphysics, I did parapsychology, I did psychology, I did it all, looking for that which actually was true. And eventually I went, okay, so where is the truth? And then I went to some channels, and I went, okay, so if you want me to follow you, show me something that I've never seen before tonight. That would be the most boring night they had ever had. And it was nothing. And okay, so obviously, and it's like, you want me to follow you, you show me something I've never seen before. I went to the gurus and I talked with them, and they would always tell me I was wrong. And I go, wait a minute, how can an infinite being, you tell me I'm an infinite being, and then you tell me I'm wrong. How can an infinite being be wrong? They might not have the awareness or the knowledge of something, but to be wrong? No. It's like wrongness somehow did not equate. So that started me on the journey to access. And I started.
And you say you had that urge, you had that notion that there is some kind of infinite truth or one truth from childhood. How come? What, you were a psychic from birth?
I think I was just crazy from birth.
We all are.
Yes.
Then we became sane, and we live life unhappily.
Yes. And it's like the thing that I got to, everybody said you come in as this infinite being and you're this really cool guy who knows everything, but you don't remember anything. Wait, how are those two true? And it's like you're innately good. You know, it's like people said that. But I saw people doing really mean, awful, bad things to others under the guise that everyone was good. And it's like, that didn't make sense. So what I finally became aware of is that we come in, yes, it's a free will universe. Yes, we come in with choice. But the reality is the only innate quality we have is the ability to choose. And from our choices to become aware of what's going to occur or how something is going to occur or what is true for us. And we can create our own reality by being committed to our choices. And it doesn't mean you have to keep a choice. If you make a bad choice, you know, it's like, you probably never known anybody who got into a bad marriage, did you? So
No.
No, none of us
Never.
have.
Never.
No, but it's like you get into a bad marriage, and it's a choice you made. And we keep trying to make it, well, it's like, but I chose it, so now I have to stay. And it's like I've seen one person after another that has gotten into this place where they felt they had no choice but to stay married and do it. I actually worked with a lady in New Zealand. She came to me because she had cancer. She was 73 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I said, so, you know, what are you dying to get out of with cancer? And her answer was, my relationship. I said, well, have you considered divorce? And she goes, oh, I could never do that for the children. They would never understand. I go, how old is your youngest child? And she goes, 53. I said,
oh my God.
I think at 53 they might understand. You know, it's like it might be better than you can imagine. So you gotta start looking not for what you think they can handle, but what they can handle. Just no, I can't do it. I said, well, then I can't help you, because if you can't change that point of view and consider it rather than dying, then I have to let you die. Because it's not my call, it's yours. It's your choice what you create in life. So it was very interesting, because she did die a few months later, but she wasn't willing to get a divorce. She wasn't willing to leave her husband. From the
She made her choice, as you say.
Made her choice.
So tell me, you went and looked for the truth in all kinds of places, and you say you found some truth here and some truth there. And I know you've been in real estate some time, and you did some things in the material world, which was good. So what kept you searching, and how did you find the Access consciousness, and what is it?
Well, okay, so I found Access consciousness because I decided that I needed to be a channel. And so I was going to let somebody use my body to talk through me, to tell me things. And what I was giving was the first piece of information about the bars. And I went, okay. And I went, that's fine. It's like, and what the hell do I do with this? You know, because it's like, me, it's like.
But you were in healing. You treated people before? Nothing? You were just channeling information for people?
Yes, you know, it's like, and I gave up channeling because people would come and ask, Will my next house have bougainvillea? Will my next mate have blue eyes? It's like, you know, get a Ouija board. Don't ask me. I don't want to deal with that stuff. And I said at one point, I said, you know what, if people can't come and ask some kind of question that leads to a greater possibility and more in life, then I don't want to do this stuff. So for about 6 months, nothing happened. And then some people came and I said okay to them where I'd said no to everybody else. And they started, and this is where I started getting information about the bars. And then I went away to New York and I started doing bars and had these amazing changes for people. And I went, okay, apparently this is good. So I, you know, went, this is my calling. This is what I'm going to do forever. I went, okay, that doesn't seem right. That was a little heavy. Never mind. But I got this point of view that you have to look at what's true for others, not what's true for you. And I became aware that whenever I asked for what was true, then I would get that information. If I thought what had to be true was my point of view, then it wouldn't work. So as long as I was asking the people questions and I would ask them questions about their life, these answers would come out of their mouths that were like, what? You know, and it's like, but that would be the thing that would give them freedom. And that's when I began to realize that each of us knows what's right for us. Each of us knows what's going to work for us. When are we going to choose that? Choose to recognize how amazing we actually are and choose to be that and do that and create that and generate that.
You know, I was telling people to ask questions if they want through me to ask you a question. And a woman sent me a question for you. And she said, ask him, what does he believe in? Does he believe in God? When you do bars or when you do access consciousness processes, are you referring to a higher, I don't know what, God or something to bring down the healing, to bring down the energy?
No, because I'm not trying to bring down the energy. When you run bars, what you're doing is, it's like hitting delete file on a computer bank. You have all these points of view that you've taken on in one lifetime or another. I don't know how many lifetimes you've had, only you do. And, you know, and
I think I'm an old soul.
Yeah. If you live where you live, you are, you know, because you have to be willing to deal with a lot of stuff.
Yeah. We're cleaning up for the whole world here. That's why it's important that Access is here, and many other methods, you know, because we need lots of healing here. Well,
I think, you know, it's like rather than healing, I would look at it as you need more awareness, because with awareness, all things change, and anything becomes possible when you're willing to use awareness. I did a radio show one time, and I had in the group, we had this group of people, and we were having a radio show. We had an Egyptian gay man, a Russian Jew, a Hindi, a Muslim, a Spanish lady, a Danglish lady, that's Danish and English combined, and and we had a black lady, and they all talked about what they'd gotten out of Access, and it's like, and I went, wow, this willingness to have awareness would create the peace we all desire on planet Earth. Because with awareness, you cannot judge, and no judgment, you cannot judge another person. You can only allow them to have what they have, and then you can create peace, and you can create awareness and understanding. And the gift that each of us came to be is that place of knowing that the war and the famine and the pestilence and all the stuff that, you know, is rampaging across the earth doesn't have to be. Doesn't have to be. It's a choice people make.
So it's only turning to greater awareness. It's not about, you know, going to higher power like you go in Theta, or you go in other spiritualism methods.
No, it's like what it's doing is tapping into the infinite awareness of each being. Each of us has our own infinite awareness, and each of us can choose God the way we choose it. Each of us can choose possibility the way we choose it. each of us is a gift, and we don't see it. It's like if we can see that gift, then we give that gift to others, then it changes the world. And this is why I do what I do. And it's like, is it a higher power? I think it's the infinite power we all are, that all we're doing is allowing it to shift and change and become more so. We're not trying to direct people. We're not trying to give them, tell them how to be, how to live, any of that kind of stuff. Well, I guess that's not quite true, because I would say live without judgment, and then all choices become available. Judgment and conclusion are the things that stop us from creating greater than what we have.
So basically what you're saying, that the tools of Access or the processes of Access are helping us to clean our judgments, to clean our all our belief system, our old belief system. And what happens when you said you delete files, okay? And when you delete files, you have to put something new instead of them.
No, you don't.
No?
Garbage in, garbage out. How much garbage do you have from the past? It's like, we get rid of that.
But when you just clean the garbage, so what's coming in? Isn't there, it's kind of void, no? And there's no void, so more garbage comes.
Well, it's like, what if space was actually the truth of us? Okay, it's like, we have a wonderful, hideous program over here called Hoarders. I don't know whether you've ever seen it. They have that in the United States. People who like hold everything that they've ever had in their house, and they become like, they begin to sleep on a pile of garbage because they don't have any space left in their universe. And they come in and they get them to get rid of all their junk, and then they have space. And, then they'll go back 2 years later and the people still have some space, but they've already started hoarding again. And so it's like, what we tend to do is hoard our limitations and our unhappiness as though it has value. It's like, if you focus on the unhappiness you had in a particular situation, then you start creating more of that. It's like the lady in New Zealand. It's like she was miserable in her marriage, but she wouldn't leave it. So it's like she held on to her unhappiness, and it was killing her. And she would rather die than give up her unhappiness.
Yes, somehow, why do we get attached to all these horrible points of views and beliefs and patterns that are not serving us? Why is it?
I think it's because we're not willing to be bluntly honest with ourselves. Personally, would be my perspective on it. It's like, rather than going, okay, so does this really work for me, and do I want to do it? Like, one of the tools I give people is like, if you ask, if you get that 98% of your thoughts, feelings, and emotions don't belong to you, it's like you just pick them up. You're sort of like this psychic SpongeBob or SpongeBobette, and it just coming in, and you get all this information, you keep doing it. Well, what happens is, if you get that those don't belong to you, and you ask this question for 6 months, which I did, was, who does this belong to? For every thought, feeling, and emotion I had, I soon began to realize that I had little to no thoughts, feelings, or emotions, and therefore I got free of it. It's like, I'd see somebody, I go, I hate people who wear turbans. I go, whose point of view is that? Oh, it's not mine. Okay? Because it's like, I don't pretty much hate anybody. It's like, I don't appreciate people who are evil and do evil and that kind of stuff. And I don't appreciate people who do violence. I don't, but I'm willing to allow that may be the only choice they think they have. If I can show them a different choice, then maybe they could change. But you got to be able to show people how their choice is not serving them.
Okay, so tell me, this is, I feel, I don't know, I get to meet and experience and interview many methods and many teachers all over the world. And I think there is something in this era now that there is more consciousness in the world. And people are becoming more and more aware and more maybe free from their old patterns and old thinking patterns. But what is the uniqueness, or what is the difference that Access Consciousness is bringing to the world? What is the new message?
Well, what we have is tools and techniques for getting rid of the things you think you can't change. That's the one thing Access has, is tools and techniques for getting rid of what doesn't serve you any longer, so that you can make a new choice. As infinite beings, the one thing we always do is choose again and again and again.
Even if we're not aware of them.
Yes. And what
we can take up garbage even if we don't know we have it. This is what you're saying.
Yeah. And it's like, the thing is, you know, it's like, the best way I can describe it is in Australia, they have a game that they call Chinese whispers, where you whisper something into one person's ears, they whisper it into the next person's ears, and they, you know, it's like, at the end of it, it's a totally different sentence than what started out. But this is sort of how, this is the whispers of unconsciousness that get created in this reality, because you think something and that is picked up by your next door neighbor. If you think, oh my God, my life is a bore, the next door neighbor picks it up and goes, I got to go to the store. The next door neighbor goes, oh, I must be a whore. And the next one goes, yes, but there's got to be more. You know, it's like, and so it's like this gets passed around in this weird way that if we're not willing to see that our thoughts don't belong to us, if we don't make our thoughts the most important thing, it's like what we begin to get aware of is our sense. You know, it's like, did you ever watch the movie Sixth Sense? The Sixth Sense? It was the one with where the little boy saw dead people.
With Bruce Willis. Come on, of course I said it.
I'm sorry, I can't remember anything anymore. All my gray matter's on the outside. Yeah. So the thing is, it's like we all have a sense of things, but we keep saying we have feelings. I feel this. But it's like, if we change that to I sense this, then we as the infinite being are sensing something, which means we have awareness. But if you say I feel, then you try to put it into your body, and your body then takes it on. So this is what causes disease. We had been doing a whole bunch of stuff in Access about how if you intersect a molecule of your body with a thought, feeling, or emotion, it ellipticizes that molecule and changes its shape. Now, about 2 years later, 3 years later, a scientific magazine came out with this article saying that once you intersect a cell of the body with a thought, feeling, or emotion, it ellipticizes it and starts disease. Now, whoa, this is what we've been working on for 3 years with Access to get that to change. We've had people who had diseases that, you know, they were told they couldn't change, that they, you know, that their cancer was inoperable and they were going to die. And it's like, and they did Access and it changed. There was one lady who came to do a session with a girl in Australia, and she had been told by the doctors that she needed to get her affairs in order because she had less than 6 months to live. And so she had made arrangements to go see all her family and stuff. She hadn't been able to walk more than about 20 steps for 6 months. She went in, she got a bar session. She came out, and she was waiting for her husband to come pick her up. And she started walking. She was all awesome. And the funny part about it is, she walked 2 miles without realizing she'd done it. Her husband picked her, you know, couldn't find her because he went directly to the spot where she was supposed to be, and then called her and found out where she was and went and picked her up. So she was sort of stunned. So she went back for some more, and she started getting better. Her husband was in the army, the sort of the green beret kind of.
Only with the bars, the 32 points, or with other techniques of Access?
No, just the bars. And she started running the bars. She learned how to run the bars, and she started running the bars on her husband, who was a, you know, he was a special forces kind of guy, and he was going to Afghanistan, and she said, you know, it's like, you can trust your awareness. And it's like, he had PTSD, and he would wake up in the middle of the night punching him. And that had been going on for several years. After he got his bars run, it never happened again, which is unbelievable.
It does, it is. So can you elaborate, since we're speaking about the bars, can you elaborate a little, what are these bars that we are running, and what is happening while we are putting our fingers on another people's head, and why is it working?
Well, basically what you're doing is you're putting it on there and you're allowing the electrical discharge of the component of thought, feelings, or emotions. And so it's an electrical discharge. It's like hitting delete file on your computer banks. And at the end of it, you either wake up, you come back to real life feeling like you had a great massage, or your whole life changes. One of the two. Your choice.
Yeah, this also Dr. Dane told me that a month ago.
Yeah.
That's what they told him.
Yeah. It's like for him, it's like it changed his whole life. For me, it's like I had always been pigeon-toed my whole life. And I was doing a class in Pennsylvania, and there was a woman there who was the craziest person who ever came to Access. And nobody wanted to work with her.
Crazier than you?
Oh, way crazier than me. She made me look yeah. And so she came and she started, there was no extra person, so I let her run my bars. And I got up off the table to go to the bathroom, and there was this deep purple carpeting in it because it was this metaphysical place where they had to have, like cool colors and stuff. There was this, and it's like I had on white socks. It's like as I'm walking to it, it's like my feet are doing this. And I'm going, whose feet are those? I have walked like this my whole life. After an hour running my bars, my feet were duck feet, and they have remained that way. And it's so interesting because I'd gone to chiropractors. They said that'll be a year and a half of work. I'd gone to surgeons, and they said, oh, yeah, you can't fix that really, but we can do some stuff on your femurs, and it's going to cost you $10,000 to do that. And I went, never mind, I can walk pigeon-toed for the rest of my life. It's not that important. So literally, after having this crazy woman run my bars, my feet were duck foot, and I have never gone back to the pigeon-toed again.
So are you saying, I don't know, are you saying that it matters who runs your bars?
No.
Because I know that in this method, everybody can run your bar, right? Everybody can learn it and everybody can use it.
Well, one of the things I say in class.
Why is it that only when this woman, I guess that some other people ran your bars until that day? Why did it happen only when this woman put her hands on your head?
Because whatever point of view that woman had, that I had a similar point of view, when it erased out of me, it erased out of her, and both of us got better. And how that works, I don't know. That it works, I know. I highly recommend to people that they always pick the person they can stand the least
to run their bars.
To run their bars.
Wow, that's a good tip. That's a good tip.
You get better. It's just bizarre.
So you're saying the point of view of the person who is running the bar is making a difference in you.
Yeah, because whatever point of view they have that's like yours, when it leaves you, it leaves them too. That's the reason it's a win-win-win situation. You run somebody's bars, you get better and they get better. They run your bars, you get better, they get better. And it just creates more sense of space and possibility for everyone who comes, which is this amazing gift. I mean, I've watched people come in looking like they wanted to die and get up off the table smiling. It's like, and look at them and go, who are you? I have people who came to my classes that a year later I see them and they go, you remember me, don't you? And I go, no. And they go, I'm so-and-so. And I went, wow, have you changed? And she goes, yeah, Access does that. It allows you to change. And you look different, and you walk different, and talk different, and dress different. It's like everything changes in your life. And so if what you're looking for is a way to change, this is the quickest and easiest way I know.
And tell me, I know that you didn't stop with the bar. You started telling me that you got the bars through channeling, and then you continue to develop with Dr. Dane Hare, I understand, which is your partner.
Yeah.
And there is Foundation 1 and 2.
And 3.
And it's 3 and 4. So it became a kind of university for life, for change, for transformation.
Change and transformation, I think, is a better way to put it, because it's like whatever you think you can't change, you can change, because you do have a different choice if you want to choose it. So you got to see where your choices are locked up and where you don't think you have choice. Once you realize you don't have to live from the no choice universe, suddenly choice begins to show up for you in magnificent and amazing ways.
You know, but some people they get overwhelmed from suddenly all kinds of choices opening to them. Did you feel it in some way in your life that from no choices or from one choice that they know suddenly 20,000 choices open them?
Yeah, but
people
it's
can get mixed up or can get. So
well,
what do you do with that?
It's like the thing is, when you have so many choices, you don't want to make a wrong choice.
Yeah.
So what I try to get people to do is come out of the thing of the choice has to be forever. It's like just because you got married doesn't mean you have to stay with that person for the rest of your life. Just because you chose to wear blue today doesn't mean you have to wear blue for the rest of your life. So you got to be willing to look at, okay, so what choice would I like to make now? And I got to the point where I could have, at one point in my life, I'm like, okay, I could just sit here and watch TV doing channel surfing all day long. I had no motivation. And what most of us have done is we create these pains and suffering as the motivation to choose or change. And so I'm always looking for, okay, so I got 10 seconds to live the rest of my life. The world is full of lions, tigers, bears, and and people with machine guns. You got 10 seconds to live the rest of your life. You could be dead in the next 10 seconds. What choice would I like to make right now? And it's like, and you have to look at those choices you can make and go, okay, so what would I like to choose? And if you live your life in 10-second increments and make choices based on that, then, it's like, then you begin to realize, wait a minute, I've got all the choices in the world, but all I have to do is choose what's going to work for me.
But how can you choose the right one? How do you know it's the right one? How do you know it's the accurate one for now, for the next step for you, if you have so many choices?
Once you choose, you'll know.
If you fall on your head, it's the wrong choice, you say.
That was not a good choice. Standing on this chair to try and change a light bulb and falling down makes you realize standing on the chair was not a good choice. Why didn't I walk downstairs and get a ladder? And it's like, you have those choices. And for me, I think the biggest thing in my life, when I was 17, my dad died. When I was 15, he made a choice. He decided he had to make me tough. So I had a friend who had taken boxing lessons. And he came over to the house and he said, it's like, I picked your name out of a hat. I'm going to choose you on. I go, what the hell does that mean? He said, I'm going to fight you. I said, I don't want to fight you. You're my friend. He goes, yeah, but I chose your name out of a hat. I go, what the hell does that mean? And so I walked in the house and I said, this guy did this. And my dad said, you get out there, young man, and do the fight. I go, really? Yeah, have some courage. I go, really? Okay, fine. So I walked out. The guy said, here, put this chip on your shoulder so I can knock it off. So I did, and I let it punch me. And I got a bloody nose from it. I walked in the house, and I looked at my dad and said, you happy now? He goes, yes, son. No, I said, good. I didn't talk to him again for the next 2 years. So the last 2 years of his life, I never talked to him. I refused to talk to him. I'm a little stubborn. Just a little stuff. But
little, yeah. 2 years not talking to your father.
Yeah, just a little bit. But it's like when he died, it's like, I went, wow, that was not my best choice. I didn't know he was dying. I didn't know he was going to die. But you know what? You need to, I came to the awareness by that choice that refusing to talk to people does not create the place where you can tell them what is true for you. I never got to say goodbye. I never got to say I love you. I just had at the end of his life my anger and my fury, which did not serve me in the long run, because then I was terribly, terribly upset that he had died. Okay, good, I'm upset. Now, what choice could I have made that would have made this better? I could have chosen to talk to him. I could have chosen to create another possibility. I could have chosen to be friendly and to be present. From that, I've learned to always say today what you want people to hear. Never wait until tomorrow, because tomorrow they may be dead, or you may be. Never know.
Did you forgive yourself for that?
No.
No.
But I quit judging myself for it.
Okay. That's a good choice.
Yes, that was a good choice.
So tell me something more. So tell me a little bit more about the foundation. And 1 or 2, what is the jump? You said that I heard that they say that I didn't do it yet, but they say that it's 5 days that your life would change after it.
That's correct.
So what is the uniqueness of foundation 1 and 2?
It's like what we do is we break the foundation of your limitation. Okay, everything you define is what has to define what your life is and who you are. We break that by the clearings that we do, the processing. And then in level 1, you start seeing the different choices you have. And we let you see how you can choose to create the life you really like to have. And so you break the foundation of limitation, and then you create the place of possibility. Then in level 2 and 3, we show you greater possibilities and show you how this can be a choice you could have if you choose it, but it's up to you. We don't try to influence people to think like us, because the one thing that we know is you already have points of view that would serve you, but you judge them and not use them. So if we can take away all the judgment, then you can use the choices you have to create what you wish. And I've seen people go from being unable to function. I saw one lady, and she had grown up in a rich family, but she was incapable of getting up and taking her kids to school in the morning. Her kids were miserable little guys, and they were, they just couldn't make it. They just couldn't make it in life because she was so miserable. She couldn't eat, she couldn't drink, she couldn't do anything. Everything was about how miserable she was, and she lived in her misery. So she did foundation 1, and and she started to change. And she started to take her kids to school. And it's like her kids came to Access classes because kids get to come to Access classes for free with their parents, and they changed. And today her oldest son is learning how to create money for himself because he had lots of money. She came from a very wealthy family and had a trust fund. And he's learning how to create money for himself. Her youngest son got a scholarship for his athletic abilities. Neither of these kids could do anything athletic when I met them. Neither of them could do anything. They were like just little incompetent guys. So it's like it was this place. Sorry about the background noise. My grandson just woke up and he's a little fussy. So at any rate, it's like this lady became competent. She became happy. She started making money on her own. And today she's a happy person who's able to make decisions. But when I met her 10 years ago, she couldn't make a decision to save her soul. She was always looking for somebody else to tell her what to do. And she'd been told no matter what she chose, she was wrong. Her whole life. And it's like, and her family told her that the only choice you have is to marry a rich man. That's all you can do. And it's just
so you said that when we open ourselves, when we clean our judgments and our limitations, we can be open to all kinds of new choices to come into my life. There is new awareness for us.
Yes.
And this is enough. We don't have to implant new stuff or magnetize to our life wealth or health. How come? I want to elaborate, if you can elaborate on that. Because, when I learned something, the method, they say, okay, first you clean, and then you have new space, and then you can invite new stuff into your life, what you want. And you say, no, you don't have to do that.
You don't have to work that hard.
You say, yeah, the mantra is with ease, you know? So
Glory.
Explain to me a little bit, how does it happen?
Well, the thing that I've noticed is once you take away the places of limitation and the judgments and decisions people are functioning from, they look at it and they go, what other choice do I have? They start asking the question. And the four things that will always create a different reality for you is question, but not from the point of getting the right answer, but for gaining awareness. Choice, which every time you choose, you gain awareness. Possibilities, every time you make a choice, you open to a number of possibilities. And then once you choose, we become aware of what those possibilities will create. And then contribution, which is what the universe wants to give to us. The universe desires to help us, to take care of us. You ever notice that when you trust the universe, you know, the trust that the universe is there, or you trust in God, any of those points of view about what you trust, it's like that then shows up in your life. That's very, very cool. But
yeah, and also sometimes when you get, you know, something that is not good, when you experience it is not good at the first, and then after some time, you know that it was the exact thing for you to learn something or to go through something and then grow from it and find something else.
Yes, and it's like, for instance, I had a lady in San Francisco. She wanted to sell her car, and she needed to buy a car for her and her son. And she said, oh, I have no idea how I'm going to do this. I don't think my car will sell for that much money. And she went someplace, and she was driving, and she got in an accident. No one was hurt in the accident, but her car was totaled.
Total loss. Yeah, great. Yeah. So she got the insurance.
She got the insurance, and that was enough to buy her a new car and to buy her son a car. Unbelievable. Yeah. So it's like, you know, it's like it looked like a bad thing, but it's like we ask in strange ways and we get strange results. And then instead of going, wow, I created that, you know, because I said to her, I said, so did you create this so you could get a car for you and your son? She went, oh my God, yes, I did. Well, was that what you thought you were asking for? No, not at all. I just wanted to sell my car. But it's like, you know, it's like, I need a car, you know, please, can you help me get a new car and a car for my son? And it's like, suddenly it shows up. And that's the way things actually work when you take away all your judgments. Because her judgment was that her judgment is no longer, I can't afford it and I'm a bad mother. Her judgment was, okay, I will find a way to do this. Or was that a decision? That was a choice she made, a choice. I will find a way to do this. And so she did. It just wasn't wrecking her car that she thought was going to do it.
So, you know, Gary, this show is called Practical Inspiration.
Yes.
So we have the inspiration, I think, and I want us to be a little more practical.
Okay.
You know, here in Israel is the month of Elul. It's a special month of the year. It's the last month in the Hebrew calendar. Uh-huh. And we refer to this month in the Jewish tradition as the cleaning month.
Yep.
So if you can give us a few clearing, tools or I don't know what you think, so we can, you know, do the work of this month and be ready for the new year.
Okay, I can do that. So what have you made so vital about holding on to what you've got that does not allow you to clean out what would not allow you to clean out what no longer serves you? You destroy and uncreate all that place.
Yes, of course.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Wow.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That was easy. Anything else?
So what have you decided you can't lose that if you lost it would create greater possibilities in your life? See, it's like it's our decisions, our judgments, our conclusions that keep everything in place. So everything that is times a godzillion, we just try and create it all.
Yes.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Okay, so it's like if you just repeat those things over and over again a number of times, it's like you'll find yourself getting rid of stuff and you go, oh, I I don't need to have that point of view. Oh, I don't? Oh, good. I don't need it. And it's like you begin to realize, okay, what other choices do I have that I've never considered? And that's one of the question is one of the most practical tools you can use, okay? If you ask a question, not looking for the right answer or the wrong answer, but looking for an awareness. So what choices do I have that I've never considered? And you start looking at that, and like all of a sudden, the universe goes, here's a choice, here's a choice, here's a choice, here's a choice. And you go, wow, I didn't realize I had so many choices. Because we always get trapped in, I have no choice. You know, I've lived in this same apartment for 10 years. What choices do I have?
Tell me, do you have some kind of ritual that you do yourself, like every morning or every night, to get more awareness, to be more aware of more choices in your life? Is there some kind of tip that you give us in this direction?
I wouldn't necessarily do it every night anymore. I began to live it. What energy space, what energy space and consciousness can I be to create greater awareness in me and everyone I touch for all eternity?
So you asked yourself this question every day?
Yeah, and pock and pot, everything doesn't allow that to show up. And so every day a new awareness shows up. Every new day a new possibility shows up. Every day something occurs and I go, wow, that's amazing. It's like, and it shows up in little strange ways and in big magnificent ways all at the same time. And I never know what's going to occur. I just know something will occur. So I'm always looking for what else is possible that I've never considered. I live from that question, so that every day a new thing shows up for me. It's like at one point I was asking that question, and my next door neighbor called me and he goes, "Hey, I just found his mother had died, and he says, I just found a storage unit I didn't know existed, and it has a bunch of Asian stuff in it. Would you like to look at it?" And I said, sure. And he goes, I want to get some money because I got to take care of my father. It's like, would you be willing to buy the whole shooting match? And I said, sure. How much? And he goes, $50,000. I went, okay, I'll find a way of getting it. And so I gave him a check for $25,000 of it because I had that at the time. And then I gave him gold coins for the rest of the $25,000 so that he could, so he could feel good about he was going to get it. And then I spent a month and I got the other $25,000 together to pay him. It's like it turned out that one item in the collection was worth $50,000.
Wow.
But I didn't know anything about Asian art. I just knew it was pretty, and I like pretty. I'm just sort of a bit of a nut for pretty. And
I heard that you're not for horses also.
Oh yes, I'm completely nuts for horses. I have 28 of them in Costa Rica, and I have 30 of them in California, and I never have time to ride. So it's like I'm a nut job. Okay.
Well, I'll keep that in mind. When I come to Costa Rica or Texas, you can let me ride one of your horses. I love horses. גארי? אופס, נראה לי שיש לנו תקלה בשידור. בואו נראה אם נצליח להחזיר את גארי לכאן. ננסה שוב. חכו רק שנייה, קצת סבלנות. גארי?
Hi, there you are.
Yeah, now we see you again.
Okay.
Good.
Hi.
We have a few, technology, but we're okay. We have a few more minutes, and I want you to tell me a little bit. What about your vision? What is the next stage for Access Consciousness here in Israel? I heard rumors that you are coming. Is it true? And how can we create these possibilities?
If 100 people are willing to do the class, I will come, because it's like I will fit it in. I travel 3 to 4 weeks out of every month. Okay. Mm-hmm. It's like I go to places. If there's more than 100 people that are willing to do a class, I will go there. It's like, but it's like it's like I have to choose to go to places that have more people because I've got so much to do. That was Dr. Dane.
Oh, tell him to come and say hi.
Say hi, Dr. Dane. He's doing a Google Hangout in mere minutes himself.
Hi.
Hi, Dane. How are you? Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you again.
Yeah, I'm trying to make choices and possibilities that we'll see you here in person, both of you in Israel.
I do like the way you're thinking.
So do I.
I would love to go to Israel. That would be wonderful.
Yes.
Yeah, I guess you've never been in Israel, both of you.
No.
You're gonna love it here, I'm telling you.
Okay, good.
I have no doubt. I look forward to it.
Yes.
And there are many people, as I know it, that many people here that are practicing and are learning and want to learn more. So you're very, very welcome. And we will, I guess that the people that are listening here will create the possibility that you will come soon.
I like it. And have fun with my friend. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Yeah, so it's like, for me, it's like the vision of Access is I really would like, it's like I said years ago, it's like what I would like to accomplish is everybody is using these tools every day in every way they can, and nobody knows my name. It's not about me. It's not about me, the guru. It's not about, being the person that's in charge, the person that created this. Because each one of us creates the possibility by every choice we make. And it's just this amazing, I consider it this amazing gift that each person is that comes to a class. One of the reasons I like to go to all these different places is every country has their own cultural point of view, but with that cultural point of view comes a place that they chose to live there because everybody had that similar point of view. And once we free that point of view, then the rest of the world gets free of the same thing. I would like to see a world in which we're dedicating ourselves to being stewards of the earth, not users of the earth, where we're not consuming the earth, but we're actually contributing to the earth, where the earth becomes a sustainable reality. Right now, with all the things we've done to the earth, it's like if we've got 12 years before we reach the point at which there's no survival left, I think that's a wishful thinking. We need to change the way we do it. And it's not about recycling. It's not about saving the whales. It's about becoming aware of what we need to choose and the way we can choose it and a different possibility. And I'm really looking to that. One of the things I'm doing with some people that are into the business end of things is a thing called benevolent capitalism. So we're doing a class on benevolent capitalism, which I'm going to Melbourne in about 10 days to do. And it's a very expensive class because what I want is people who have enough money to actually use their money to start changing what's going on in the world. And a benevolent capitalist is one who doesn't use and abuse and look for their piece of the pie. They're the people who look for what possibilities are there. We can invite people to be more contributive to one another. Like one of the things that I discovered is right now they're in the United Kingdom. They're throwing away 100,000 cell phones per month. Each one of them has $1 to $2 worth of gold and silver in it.
Wow.
And it goes in landfill. And then they go dig up.
Gold elsewhere.
From elsewhere, but they're digging it out of the earth, and it takes 70 tons to get a kilo. And yet they could have that just from the stuff that's going into the landfill. They could have a kilo of gold easy from the stuff that goes into the landfill for no money, less money, whatever. If it's just going in the trash, why not collect it?
Yeah, good idea. I think it could be a great startup. Yes,
and and the thing is, it's like I'm always looking for, okay, so what is out there? Like one of the things I get is that I don't know whether they have them in Israel, but here we have landfills, okay, where we take all our trash and put it in a particular area, and and we take bulldozers and stuff over it and go over the top of it and shove it in and seal it in. And it's like they did some excavating in a landfill recently in California, and they discovered that 50-year-old papers still have the same flexibility as they had 50 years ago because there's no air and there's no microbes that can get to it because they sealed it in so well. So it's like landfills may end up being our future resources for things we don't have.
Wow.
You know, we need to look from a different direction.
That's great. So tell me a little bit more about access consciousness in the world. I know I told that it's about 170 countries now.
Yeah, it's 177 countries and it's growing. And it's like there's only 193 countries in the entire world.
Yeah, so you're reaching. You're reaching. How do you explain this really widespread the spread that you have in the world? It's not that common.
Well, a lot of it has to do with people in one location share with people they know in another location. They try it, they find it works, and they share it as well. It's sort of the underground system of awareness, basically. And it's like, so they are sharing all this information with their friends, and their friends find it works, so they want it, so they come to a class, or they find a way to get there. Or the people that come to Axe are the seekers of the world. The people always know they've always known there should be something different. They've always known that something else had to be possible. And
I read your book, and you call them humanoids.
Yes.
What's that? These are the seekers of the world? This is what you mean?
Yes. The humanoids are the seekers of the world. The humans say, shut up, sit down, and you'll be fine. Have a beer, relax, watch some TV. They don't see any reason for anything to change, where the humanoids always know there has to be something better, always want some change, and are going, there's got to be a way of changing this. There's got to be a way of having a difference here. And it's like a lot of it is, what's wrong with me? And it's like, and I highly recommend people, instead of going, what's wrong with me, they go, what's right about me, I'm not getting.
Yeah, what's right about me. I think this is the point that we have to end this interview, because it's time. I could talk to you for hours. You're a very cooperative person, so I thank you for that. Thank you. And we really hope to see you soon here in Israel.
I hope so. It's like I ask Yahweh, send me.
Yeah. I told you, this is a good month. You can ask lots of things. It will come.
Cool. I will ask. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Gary. And we'll talk soon, I hope.
I hope so, too.
In the near future. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.